Hola, bienvenidos a Spanish Nerchukundam. In today's video, we are going to talk about the object pronouns in Spanish. Whenever we talk about the object pronouns, the transitivity of the verbs comes into the picture. So let us see. Verbs are sometimes transitive and intransitive. There are verbs which are transitive and intransitive. What is a transitive verb? Let us see what Wikipedia says. Wikipedia says that a transitive verb is a verb that accepts one or more objects. This contrasts with intransitive verbs which do not have objects. That means all the verbs which have objects, they are called transitive verbs, and the ones which do not have objects are intransitive verbs. So let us see some examples. I am sleeping. This doesn't have any object. The verb is I am sleeping and the subject is I, and we don't have an object for this sentence. So here we say the verb is intransitive. My dog ran fast. My dog ran fast. Even in this one, it is the sentence is explaining how the dog ran, but it doesn't have an object. So these two are intransitive verbs, ran and sleep. And I am reading a book. Here we have got an object which is a book. What I am reading? A book. So a book is one object in this particular sentence. So whenever we have only one object, that becomes the direct object. And when there are more than one objects, then the second one becomes the indirect object. So they are called complementos directos, that means direct objects, and complementos indirectos, indirect objects. Complementos directos y complementos indirectos. So let us see what are they in Spanish. You know these subject pronouns: yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, ellos, ellas, ustedes. And these are the object pronouns. That means whenever these nouns act as objects, these are the forms which are to be used. That means when Joe acts as an object, then that is may, and the same way te for the second person singular, third person lo, la, nos, vos, and los and las for the plural ellos, ellas, ustedes. You can see the contrast between direct object pronouns and the indirect object pronouns. Only difference is for the third person, for the singular and the plural. So lo, la are the object pronouns which are used for masculine third person singular and feminine singular, feminine third person singular respectively. And we only have one lay for third person singular when that is acting as an indirect object pronoun. And los, las are the forms of direct object pronoun for the third person plural, and les is the indirect object pronoun which is used for ellos, ellas, and ustedes. If we see some examples, that will be much clearer for us. So let us see some examples and replace the direct object with object pronoun. So let us keep this table in our mind and let us see some examples. So, él compra el libro. That means he buys the book. He buys the book. What does he buy? When you put a question what to the verb, compra is the verb here. So, what does he buy? He buys the book. So, the book is the object and there is only one object. So, that is the direct object. So, let us write he buys it. We replace the noun with the pronoun, right? So, he buys it. Él compra, we will see el compra will remain the same. The verb doesn't change. El libro is third person singular and a masculine noun. So I'll put el lo compra. He buys it. That is the uh, Spanish form for he buys it. El lo compra. I hope it is clear why we have put lo here for it. So let us see the other example. Ellas ven a Pedro. They see Pedro. Here Pedro is the direct object. Ellas lo ven. That's it. They, it has to be ellas. Ellas lo ven. They see him. As Pedro is a guy, I should go with lo here. So let us see the next one. Tú conoces a Jose y a Paco. You know Jose and Paco. So if I have to replace their names, in English I'll go with you know them. right? You know them. So I'll just write tu conoces, and always remember this is the thumb rule. The object pronouns always precede the verb. The object pronouns always precede the verb. As here Jose and Paco, they are a collection or a group. So I'll go with the plural form, masculine gender. I will go with tu los conoces. You know them. And as I said, the object pronoun always precedes the verb, which is conoces. Tú los conoces. Él lava la ropa. He washes the clothes. So he washes them or he washes it. So here we have the feminine singular, la ropa, as we say in Spanish. La ropa. Él la lava. It is very simple. La ropa, it's a feminine noun. So I'm just replacing it with the object pronoun, which is a direct object because we only have one object in this case. So I'm just putting it as él la lava. He washes it. Next one, tú vendes las frutas. You sell fruits. So what is the object in this one? Direct object. Only one object is there, that is the fruits. So here we have the plural. So tú las vendes, right? Even tú is not required, but we generally in written language do not start a sentence with an object pronoun. So in this case it is better to put the subject pronoun, which is tú las vendes. Why las? Direct object, because las frutas is the direct object and we are replacing the object with the object pronoun, and that's why it is tú las vendes. Next one, ellos beben la leche. Ellos beben la leche, they drink the milk. So they drink it. That's what we are basically trying to write. So la leche is a feminine noun. Ellos la beben. That's it. Ellos la beben. This la is corresponding to the milk, which is a feminine noun. So that it is being replaced or it is being translated as la in this particular sentence. Ellos la beben. Ustedes hicieron los ejercicios. Ustedes hicieron los ejercicios. You did the exercises. So I have to write you did them. Ustedes los hicieron, right? Because this los is referring to the exercises. Exercises, as you can see, los ejercicios, third person plural, and it's the only object which is a direct object. So I'm going with the direct object pronoun los because of the plural. So Maria lleva este vestido a la boda. Maria is wearing or carries this dress to the wedding. So Maria, este vestido, as you can see, vestido, a masculine noun, lo lleva a la boda. Maria carries it or wears it to the wedding. So ella usa la computadora todos los días. She uses the computer every day. So she uses it every day. So how we can write that? Ella la computadora, third person singular, feminine noun. Ella la usa todos los días. So she uses it, that it is being represented by la here. Ella la usa todos los días. Alberto vende los zapatos. Alberto sells the shoes. So Alberto los vende. He sells them. That them is being represented by los here. So just reflecting on what we have seen, when there is only one object in the sentence, then we will go with the direct object. That means that that particular object is called a direct object. When you want to replace that direct object with an object pronoun, that is called a direct object pronoun. And these are the direct object pronouns that we have seen: me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, and las. So these are the examples that we have seen. So let us see some questions or interrogative sentences. ¿Dónde compras las flores? If I have to write this sentence in Spanish by replacing the object with the object pronoun, how I have to write? ¿Dónde las compras? Where do you buy them? What was the original question? Where do you buy the flowers? Or where do you buy them? When we replace the object with the object pronoun, when we are replacing the flores with them, I'm just putting it as las here in Spanish. So where do you buy them? Donde las compras? Next one, donde lees los libros? Where do you read the books? Donde los lees? That's it. Donde los lees? What is the object here? Los libros, which is a masculine noun in plural. So I will take the corresponding los and put it before the verb. What is the verb in the sentence? Lees. Object pronoun always precedes the verb. So los should be placed before lees. The next one, ¿Dónde estudias español? Where do you study Spanish? So I have to go as ¿Dónde lo estudias? Why I am using lo here? Because I'm considering it as el idioma. So where do you study it? So that's why I am putting it as lo here. So instead of lo, I can also put la if I consider ¿Dónde estudias la lengua española? Next one, ¿conoces al presidente de los Estados Unidos? Do you know the United States president? So, do you know him is our English sentence. Do you know him? So, I'll just simply put as lo conoces, right? So, I could have also put tú lo conoces. As I said, we do not generally write the sentence starting with an object pronoun. Tú lo conoces is enough. Do you know him? That's it. This lo is representing him, the president of the United States. Next one, has hecho la tarea? Have you done the homework or the task? Have you done the task? So how can I write it? La tarea. So la has hecho is enough for us. But if you do not want to start the sentence with an object pronoun, just go for the subject. Tú la has hecho is fine. Have you done it? Have you done the homework or the task? Have you done it? So, next one, Julio comprende esta sección. Does Julio understand this section? So, if I have to ask by replacing the section with it, does Julio understand it? So, Julio esta sección, la sección, which is a feminine noun. So, Julio la comprende is my question in Spanish. Julio la comprende. La comprende Julio. Any option is fine. La comprende Julio. Julio la comprende. So, the next one, ¿bebes cerveza todos los días? So, cerveza, la cerveza it is, which is a feminine noun. La bebes todos los días. La bebes todos los días. So, this is how it goes. Again, here if you want, you can replace with tu. You can put a tu here before la. And as one good thing to observe here is the verb, the object pronoun always goes before the verb form. You can see in every example, the object pronoun is placed exactly before the verb, main verb rather, right? So let us see some sentences with negation. Before going into the sentences, let us see that the negation, you know this, the negation always goes before the noun. So now we are going to have a direct object pronoun and also a negation, right? So the negation gives space to the object pronoun and the object pronoun comes in between no and the main verb. So let us say this one. Él no ve los coches. He doesn't see the buses. He doesn't see the cars. He doesn't see them is what we have to write by replacing the buses with them. Él no los ve. He doesn't see them. Los coches, masculine plural noun, direct object. So I'm just putting it as los here and it has to come before the verb. So I'm placing it here and the negation is placed before the object pronoun. So, no conozco a ella. So here it is, I don't know her. So I can just write it as No la conozco. No la conozco is also absolutely fine. Ellas no compraron los billetes. Ellas no los compraron. So los billetes here. So that's why I'm putting it as los here. They did not buy them. And next one, él no escribió la respuesta. He did not write the answer. He did not write it. Él no la escribió. So I have to just replace that la respuesta with la here. And next one, no tienes las llaves. You do not have the keys. No las tienes. No las tienes, because las llaves, a feminine noun in plural, so no las tienes. Let us see some other sentences with compound verbs. What is the placement of the object pronoun in that case? I want to see you. If I have to write this one, I can write yo quiero ver, and the object pronoun for tu is te, right? So here the verb is quiero ver, and I have to place the object pronoun here. This is one version. This follows the pattern that we have discussed, or the rule that we have discussed, that the object pronoun has to be placed exactly before the verb, main verb. So yo te quiero ver is absolutely fine, but there exists another way which the natives speak, which is equally correct. Yo quiero verte. Yo quiero verte. Whenever you see a compound noun, compound verb, that means whenever the verb is formed by two verbs, that means one auxiliary, it can be like ser and estar or haber, or like this, querer plus infinitivo or poder plus infinitivo. You can add the object pronoun at the end of the infinitive. Yo quiero verte. Let us see one more example. We want to buy the house. Nosotros queremos comprar la casa. Right? So I'm now in the other sentence, I'm going to replace la casa with the object pronoun, which would be la. Nosotros la queremos comprar. This is one form. And the other form is nosotros queremos comprarla. So both forms are absolutely fine. In the first case, I haven't replaced the object with the object pronoun. That's why I have put casa. This is just a translation of the one above. We want to buy the house. Nosotros queremos comprar la casa. In the second sentence, I am replacing the casa or the house with it. We want to buy it. So it is represented by la, and this is the placement at the end of the verb and before the verb. So both forms are equally correct, and they are extensively used. Both the forms are extensively used by the natives. Next one, we are buying the house. Now in this case, we have the verb in the continuous tense, or the present continuous tense. We are buying the house. Nosotros estamos comprando la casa. So shall I shall replace the casa with it, right? So nosotros la estamos comprando. This is the standard version which we have seen from the beginning. So as we have a gerund here in the verb, we can also attach it to the gerund. The object pronoun can be attached to the gerund. So nosotros estamos comprándola. So whenever we write like this, it has to be written along with the gerund without any space, and there should be an accent on ando, comprándola, so that the pronunciation or the accent remains the same. So blindly you can go for the third syllable from the last. Like here you have la, do, ando. So I have to put the accent on ando, comprándola. Both the variants are absolutely fine and absolutely correct. Next, you can eat the food. puedes comer la comida, right? Puedes comer la comida. La puedes comer because it's la comida. La puedes comer, or next simply puedes comerla. As we have an infinitive in the verb, we can attach the object pronoun to the infinitive without any space. So puedes comerla. Next one, the teacher wants to do the exercises now. El profesor quiere hacer los ejercicios ahora. El profesor quiere hacer los ejercicios ahora is the true translation of what is there above in English. Now, if we want to replace the exercises with them, with an object pronoun, how I am going to write? El profesor los quiere hacer. Los quiere hacer. Why los? As it is an object pronoun, it goes before the main verb, which is quiere hacer, right? So I'm putting it before the main verb, and los quiere hacer ahora. It can be written this way or the other way. El profesor quiere hacerlos without any gap with the infinitive at the end ahora. This way also we can absolutely write. That is what how we deal with direct object pronouns. To summarize, we have seen that when the verbs are transitive, they will have objects, at least one object. When the sentence has only one object, then that particular object is called as the direct object. When that particular object, direct object, is replaced by a pronoun, that is called a direct object pronoun. And what are the direct object pronouns that we have seen? Me, te, lo, la, nos, os, and los, las for the third person plural. And we have also seen the other rule that the object pronouns always precede the noun. That means the object pronouns always come before the noun, and we have an exception for the infinitives and the gerunds. We can attach the object pronouns to the infinitive or to the gerund at the end without any gap by placing the required accent to get the pronunciation correct. With that, I am concluding this video. I'll see you all in the next video with the indirect object pronouns. Till then, signing off, I'm Bhaskar. If you like the content, please hit the like button. Ciao ciao.